Blessed love. Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Wow. Grateful to be here. Grateful to see another New Year approach. Shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone. The time is coming where we know changes is coming, and we got to, you know, do some adjustment. We have a lot of adjustment to do to able to make it, to able to survive in times like these that's coming. We got to able to adjust ourselves to different type of living. Sometimes you might got to adjust to situation you ain't used to. But what you got to do, man? You got to do what you got to do to live. You got to do what you got to do to survive. So shout out to everyone. Shout out to all the people out there who doing their thing, man. Shout out to the people out there who have 2 and 3 jobs, man. Listen me. Shout out to you guys, man, because I don't know how you guys making it. Shout out to the people who, all the business owner who able to hire someone and give them a job, man. Shout out to all the people who doing something to help other people in however we possible. Because we got to help each other. We got to help each other however we can. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, we have a lot to talk about, but I need more people. When a few people comes in, we're gonna do this live. When more people comes in. Someone tell me I just start the live and I just go one time. I don't even wait for anyone. That's not the point, you know. The point is sometimes when you have something to say, sometimes you just come because everything come from within. I don't use script, I don't use book, I don't use anything. I use my what I experience, the knowledge. So when it come, I just, talk about it. Because I know right now. You see, when you talk about certain things, it's like, is I don't wanna exceed, but when you talk about you, in order for you to have a crowd, when you talk, it's gotta be an entertainment, it's gotta be an drama, it's gotta be an these things. These are the things that hold attention because a lot of people, I guess sometimes stress. Sometimes stress make people, sometimes they go to the entertainment because that help ease them. You know what I mean? That's help ease. And you got to do what you got to do because at the end of the day, you got to do what bring peace to you. You got to, so if entertainment is better than reality, trying to prepare yourself, trying to get things going for yourself and for your family, well, you got to do what you got to do. But for me, I'm focusing on how to better myself. I'm focusing how to survive in this what's coming before us. Because you got to survive. Especially you have family, you have children. You got to, you got to think about, you got to think deeply. For the people who don't have children, or for the people whose children, your children don't reach to age and on their own. It's different for people like that. But for the people who have young babies now coming up, and when after when you have kids, it's not about you anymore. So we got to focus on. Well, I personally, I can't tell you guys what to focus on, but I want to focus on better in me, and I do some adjustment to able to survive in what's coming to us now, because it coming fast. It's not like before. Things take 5 years before something. No, it's coming like a rolling stone, just coming. So we got to, be prepared however we can. But tonight's topic is basically about compost. About compost tea or fertilizer, liquid fertilizer. Is that really, do we need that? Is liquid fertilizer beneficial in any way? I truly will like the people who want to comment, you could comment. If anyone want to come up tonight and talk about compost tea or gardening, let me know. I'll drop the link so we could have a conversation. It's got to be about gardening, and it's got to be respectful. Over here, we try to keep everything respectful. We try to, everyone have a right to their own opinion. No, we're not disrespecting anyone. You could come over here and you could just sit down and have a good time. We don't have to agree with what everything someone say, or you don't have to agree with what I say. But if you don't agree with what I said, you could do your own research and see. But mostly what I'm talking, when I talk something about garden, I could show you. I could show you what I'm talking about, because I have tons of videos giving details, giving information, and showing progress at the same time. So, is compost tea or natural fertilizer benefit? Do we need it? Do we even need it? Do we even need it? It's a question. It's just a question. Do we need liquid? Do it help our plant? It's a question. I'm going to come with my opinion. So leave in the comment section what you think about compost tea, liquid fertilizer. I'm talking about natural. I'm not talking about the one you want to get from the store. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about natural fertilizer or compost tea, however you want to call it. That's what I'm talking about. Not talking about the one you go in the store and buy. I'm talking about the natural one that you can make. Do we even need it? Is it even beneficial in our garden? That's a question, and I want marinate for a minute before I give my opinion on composting and if it really matter, or why composting is even important. Okay, I'm gonna share my point of view about composting. I'm gonna share my point of view. You see, many people will show you that they're using compost tea or they're making compost tea. But no one, they don't give you the result. You see what I'm saying? So it's not up to me, it's not just about creating a content. To me, it's mostly showing that this thing could actually work or this thing is working. Not for me to basically show a content that I'm making compost tea or I'm throwing some in my plant, in my soil. Sometimes the result is important. Why the result is important is for others. If we showing others that we're making compost tea, let's show them the result. Let's see the result. Let's see, okay, this is the compost tea I use, and I put it around my plant, and this is what happened. So we basically showing people that the compost tea we use, it actually working. But many times that don't happen. So this is why this question, this is why I'm asking this question. Do compost tea really works? This is why I'm asking this question, because we don't see the result. We just say, oh, this, do your garden 10 times faster, but when come on the result, we don't see that. And that's what I'm really addressing here now. When you talk about composting or liquid fertilizer, I make these things and I see, I look at their result. I test them. I test them with different type of plants, not just one plant. Like I will test them with cabbage, lettuce, pepper, okra. I will test them, squash, pumpkin. I will test them with all different plants, and then I'm going to look at the result. I'm going to look at the growth. I'm going to look at how fast they produce. I'm going to look at how long they produce. So I showing you guys. I show you guys because I had a compost tea that I make. That about 4 years old now, going 5 years old. I have some still left. And that compost tea, trust me, that thing is amazing. The smell of it is really bad. But what I've seen, the growth, the production, the fast production, the rapid production, because I put around, I had 7 pepper trees and I put it around 2. And I allow the compost, allow them, and I watch them. The 2 that I put it around start pushing out peppers way before the other 5. Have one big massive pepper, and the others don't have not even blossom yet. I do that with squash, I seen. I do it with pumpkin, I seen. I do it with okra, and I seen the difference. So it's important for us to test our compost tea, and we could share it. We could let people know this thing work. If you feel like share your recipe, that's on you. All right, because a lot of people, the way how this thing run, you give people ideas, and what they do, they take it and they go with it, and they're not gonna say, okay, all right, I get this recipe from such and such. Some people say nothing is new under the sun. Okay, let's look at this, right? Nothing is new under the sun. Well, a lot of people these days And not just these days, back in the days and to now. There's a lot of people who comes up with things and put together. They didn't get the idea from someone. They come with the idea come to them, the inspiration come to them, and they put it together and create it. That does not mean it was out there before. No, that doesn't mean that. Because you get inspired and you put certain things together and create something with it, that doesn't mean, if you get the information from someone else, then. But if it comes to you natural, the information comes to you natural, the knowledge, the inspiration come to you natural, and you put it together, that doesn't mean you ain't the one who create that. That doesn't mean it, you understand? Because the thing about, let me tell you what's going on, guys. A lot of information did not pass down. You see where I'm coming from? A lot of information did not pass down. Yes, there's a lot of things is not new under the sun, because it's like it's a repeat of the same thing. Right? But there's inspiration come to people sometimes, because it's got to begin somewhere. So the inspiration come and people put things together. Right? So back to the compost. Now, how I get my inspiration? How I get my inspiration? I get my inspiration from experience, observing. You see where I'm coming from? This is where I get my inspiration from. Experience, observing, looking. Because you as a person, if you really, you see, gardening is kind of, not everybody take these things to that level. You know what I mean? Some people just planting. Some people, whatever, they're just growing. But some people want to learn. Some people want to get better at what they do. Some people want to get great at what they do. So some people take it to another level, right? So me, how I get inspired? Well, I'm gonna go back to my younger days. Grow up, parents was farmers. Parents used to grow food. Parents used to plant food, harvest, get inspired from them only, right? But I never saw them make compost tea before. You understand? I never saw them make compost tea before. I never saw them make liquid fertilizer before. So I heard about liquid fertilizer, I heard about composting. But I personally is not into using, different, I like to use only natural stuff. So when I hear about composting and liquid fertilizer and this type of stuff, I say, okay. So what inspired me now to go into liquid fertilizer is hearing it from others. But my goal was to do it different. My goal was to think about the product you want to put together. All right? Think about what type of things you want to put together. You think about it, right? And you put it together. Now, when you as a person think and study plants and study how the plants grow and study the benefit of what's benefit the plants the most, when you as a person study these things, this is where you understand what to use to create your compost tea. You see what I'm coming from? This is what you think. Now, give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'll be right back. Yes, so sorry, guys. So when you study these plants and when you understand and you see what made they grow, what you put in around them, how they respond to what you put in around them, that gives you ideas. That gives you ideas of what you need to put together in that compost tea. Because to me, compost tea is amazing. You understand? I'm asking the question because I want to hear what other people got to say. Do we even need compost tea? We don't have to use compost tea. But if we use compost tea, what it does, it works faster. It works faster than if you're using the dry compost. Because now that dry compost need water, right? It need liquid. That dry compost need liquid inside of it. Because the plant is not gonna just, if the dirt is dry or the compost is dry, it's not gonna get what it's looking for out of it. But when the liquid add to it, that's when your water, that's when it's able to suck the water, the nutrients, the minerals, whatever. Sometimes I don't even remember the name because that's name people give them. You understand? But when the plants, when it get wet, do you see when rain fall? Do you check when rain fall the growth? The growth that happen when the rain fall, when the water come and soak the soil, how the growth does operate. It's not just the rain just wet the plant and it grow. The rain wet the soil. And when the rain wet the soil, this is how the nutrients, it get active, it activate the nutrients, the mineral, and this is how the plant get its nutrient from liquid. When the water mix with the compost, this is when the plant able to pull the nutrients and the minerals and what it need out of it. So if you understand or you watch your garden and watch how your garden produce, if you watch how your garden produce and the things you put around it and you see how the plant responding from them, this is what's going to make you, this is going to give you an idea what you need to make your compost tea with. Watch the plant, watch how they grow, pay attention. They're going to give you an idea Michelle Nixie, that's natural balance. Right, definitely. You see, that gonna give you an idea of what you need to make compost tea. Like I was saying earlier, many people make compost tea, but they don't show you no result. Why they don't show you no result, I don't know. But I try to show result because I make compost tea. I have three different compost tea right now. Three of them, different compost tea. The last one I now make don't have a scent. And you guys know how compost tea smell. You guys know you don't even want to touch your hand because it's like the scent don't want to come off your hand. I study. This is the thing. You know what? When I was a little boy, you know when you're a little boy, your parents ask you, where you want to be when you grow up? And I used to always tell them, I want to be a scientist. I want to be a professor. These are the things I used to tell them, and I don't know how they used to take me, but that's what I used to say. When other people are going to say, oh, I want to do what my father doing. I want to do, no, I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a professor. These are the two things I used to always say. So now I'm paying more attention because these are things I wanted to be. So now I'm observing. I study these plants like, guys, I'm telling you, I study these plants. Before, I used to write down notes about every plant I'm growing. I used to write down notes. I used to measure them. I used to measure their growth. I used to measure everything about these plants and observe. I mean, guys, it takes a lot of time for doing this, but it's rewarding. And you observe. Now, you look at what the plant is striving good from. This is what you do. Okay. Yes, you're right. That's it. You're right there, Michelle Nix. You have a strong point there. That maybe is what causing that effect from getting result. Because I'm listening, a lot of people showing you, oh, if you use this, it do 10 times, it might do 10 times faster. Some people are gonna say you're gonna make your plants grow, but you're not seeing nothing. They're not showing you, okay, I use this, and this is the result. I do that. I show you when I'm planting, I show you when I'm adding the compost around it, and I'm showing you the growth. Like I was now mentioning, I have a video with peppers that one of my composts. Oh, you made that mistake. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you were able to share this information. Yes. So, as a gardener, well, for me, guys, I could speak for myself. I take it serious. And anything I want to do it the best way I can. I want great result. I don't mind putting in the hard work. Once the result is great, I don't mind doing that. In my garden, guys, I grow pepper trees 10 feet tall. I grow bell pepper trees 8 feet tall. You know how I do these things, guys? Because I've been studying these bell pepper plants for a long time. I've been studying them, I've been watching them, I've been observing them, and I see what they like, and I see what they don't like. I know for a fact that bell pepper love a lot of organic matter. Bell pepper love carbon, a lot of carbon. They strive well in organic matter. But you also need the nitrogen, and this is the next thing again too. Nitrogen. carbon, mineral, all these things combined in a soil could really give you a healthy garden. Could really give you not just a healthy garden, a garden that produce, a garden that have substance. And how can we do that? We're going to talk about that. Hey, Virginia Fruit Grow, how you doing? All right, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Thank everyone for coming in. Michelle Nix, thank you for coming in. Virginia Fruit Grower, thank you for coming in. Everybody who in here tonight, we appreciate you guys. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for that. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone. Appreciate you all. Okay, let me see. Let me see. This will be my second year gardening. I struggle with my bell pepper plant. Do you have any tips? Okay. Well, let's talk about bell pepper plant for a minute. First, I want to know, where do you plant your bell pepper? Do you plant them? I went over by your channel, Michelle Nix. I did went over by your channel. I also subscribed to your channel as well. What do you plant your bell pepper in? Do you plant them in container or do you plant them in the ground? That I want to know, so I can elaborate a little. And let me see. Okay, the link is in the chat. If anyone want to come up and talk about gardening, you're free to come up and let's talk about gardening. Over here, we respect everyone's opinion. Everyone have a right to their own opinion because everyone have their own experience growing. So we can all share with each other. All right? Okay, so let me see. Container first, then grow. Okay. My thing is, right, if you're planning now to grow bell pepper this garden season, if you're planning now to grow in container, what I can say for container, I'm going to talk about container first, then we're going to talk about in-grow. What I say with the container, I will also say, get some of these leaves now. Start preparing your container now in January. It's not too late. It's not too early. Get some leaf and dirt and mix them together and just rest the container aside and just leave it there. You could even cover it if you want and just leave it there for the spring. Mix some leaf or grass clipping, because I'm a natural grower, so I don't go to the store. So I only could recommend things I use. Mix them in and just leave it there until the spring. When the spring comes, you plant them down in the container deep. You don't fill the container. You put the container like half the way. You plant it. Every time the bell pepper grow, you put soil around the bottom till you hit the leaf. You put the soil to the bottom leaf. Every time it grows, you add more soil. Hey, how you doing? Good night.
Hey, I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
good, wonderful.
I was just outside. I was looking at some of my garlic and stuff I have outside today or tonight. But yeah, I had a really hard time with my bell peppers. I started them in pots and from seed, and I absolutely don't know what happened. Like I had 8 plants, then I ended up only having 3, but one of them didn't end up even being a bell pepper. It was ended up being a I think it's called a weary pepper. Like I don't even understand what happened. But the other 2 were bell peppers, but the peppers were really small. So I didn't know if it was because it's the first year that I planted, or because of it's the first time I'm planting and my soil, and I didn't know anything about soil, so that's where I'm at. I'm kind of stuck, and I'm just trying to figure it out because I want to do better this spring.
I agree. Okay, well, I've been growing bell pepper for a really long time, so I have a lot of experience in growing bell pepper. But
Okay.
bell pepper is something, if you're planting them in the
Yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
I truly recommend you planting them at least 10 to 12 inches deep in the ground.
Ah.
Yes. So while they're growing, you're gonna just be pulling soil around them. The more,
Okay.
and then they're gonna come right up out of the hole. And
Okay.
then their root gonna be grounded solid in
Okay.
the
Okay.
ground. And they're gonna just be growing, spreading, producing.
Right.
Or,
Right.
and then you also could pick some of, you see like the big leaf them that does behind the plant.
Yes.
You could just pick some of them, especially them to the bottom. You could just pick them and drop them right at the root.
Okay. Okay.
I
So the
guarantee you, if you try this, you're gonna see different project. You're gonna see a big difference.
Okay, okay. Because I saw one video you had. I saw you had like a huge tall pepper plant, and I was like, that is my goal. That that's my
Right.
goal, like, to have some success that way. Because every pepper that I got, like I couldn't even save anything for the winter time because they were so small. I was like, I'm just gonna use it to make spaghetti sauce now, put in
Mhm.
some dish or something. But yeah, I'm glad to be speaking with you because I my goal is to have my pepper plants to be tall and healthy and have large peppers on them like yours does.
Definitely. Well, I'll give you the recipe. I'll give you the recipe right there.
Okay.
Plant them deep, at least 10 to 12 inches. So
Okay.
when you plant them that deep, their roots gonna be under the ground, just spreading and growing, and you're gonna suck in the nutrients, the mineral from under the ground, and they're gonna be growing. This is the
Oh,
secret. This is
amen.
how my pepper them. I'm giving out the secret.
Okay. And I'm using rainwater too. I'm not
That's what you
using,
need to use.
yeah, because we have a lot of like chlorine and fluoride in our water and other chemicals. I wasn't, I learned early in my gardening, like last spring, that I was, watering my plants, different things I had, and I was like, these things are dying. Like I had to start all over a couple of times for different things. So I was like, this is not good. So I'm just figuring it out as I go. But I'm glad you have this channel and that you do these chats and that people can actually talk with you because
Yes,
I,
yes. But
I don't want to
I guarantee you, you stick around here, you're gonna have a successful garden because I'm willing to answer question. If anyone wanna ask me question,
hear.
I'm willing to ask because I want to see everybody successful. I want to see everybody have a successful garden. You know,
Yeah,
I have series where I'm growing bell pepper, where I'm showing how you plant them,
yeah,
where I'm showing how you take care of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they only getting bigger and taller. You know,
Yes.
sometimes I got to naturally go in a ladder, go on a ladder to reach the top of the tree.
Yes, that's what I want right there. Yes.
Yeah, you know. So and this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Result, result, result.
Amen.
If you're saying you're using this, let's see what happening. So we could say, all right, this actually works.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
not just come and say, all right, this gonna make your soil, but we cannot see the production to say, well, okay, this actually work. Let me try this.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I stand up in my garden and I do live. I
Mm.
show how I'm planting. I'm
Hmm.
showing how I'm mixing the soil. I'm
Hmm.
giving all the information. Then I'm
Okay.
going to show you how I'm planting, how I'm taking care of them, how I'm
Yes.
harvesting, the whole progress, because I want everybody to be successful. This is
Right.
this is hard time. People need food. People need these skills.
Well, let me ask you another question. Do you grow carrots too?
Sometimes, sometimes,
I have a hard time with
sometimes.
carrots.
The
I've been
time
trying to grow.
when I'm growing carrots, I just plant carrots like January in the winter
Hmm.
because carrots do love, kind of prefer the spring weather. So I
Okay.
try to do it in January and allow them to go through, and then I make my harvest. And sometimes you can even do it in the fall too. And then I see people leave their carrots in the ground and harvesting bit by bit during the winter. So the cold
Okay.
weather really don't do. So basically, when they produce, you ain't
Yeah.
even have to harvest them. You could leave
Oh.
them on the ground and just harvest as you like.
But is it just in soil? Because I watched another video someone else made, and they were like using a lot of sand. They use a lot of sand, and I was like, I'm not. I don't know about the sand and carrots. So I don't know because I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been planting carrots for about but since 2000 and well, it's about I'm gonna say more than 5 years, and I've never had any success with it. So yeah, I'm kind of done. I don't want to be done with the carrots because that's one of my favorite vegetables. But I don't know what kind of soil to use, and I don't know. And I've tried different things, so yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong because they'll grow
Well,
skinny. They grow
I don't
skinny
know.
and they'll get a couple of inches, and then it's like it just stops growing.
I wonder if your soil is too hard. Do you suffer like around their root from time to time?
Yeah, I dig in there and I put how do you say it? I put the compost. I put compost in there too. But then one time I had some little carrots. They were like maybe 2 3 inches long, and then they started looking like bent and like crooked. And then I said, well, maybe it's because it's these little wood chips in here. So I got one of those. They have these trash cans at the Dollar Tree to have these little holes in them. So I sifted the soil, but I dug down for like 2 feet. And I sifted the soil really well. I dug out a nice area, and I just sprinkled carrots around in that soil. And I said, I'm going to see what comes up. So um, I just pulled my last 3 carrots that I had because they were, I don't know, something was eating them from underground too. So I don't know what that was. Um, I don't have like moles. How do you say moles? Those I don't have any. I don't know what was eating it. I just really don't. And it would eat the green. It would it would separate the top of the carrot right at the where the green stem starts to grow. It would just chew that off and just leave everything. It wouldn't even finish eating the greenery. So that was one incident. But now I put some in pots. A couple of days ago, I put some in some planters outside because I said it was going to rain here, and so I was like, I'm just going to give this the best chance, a good start, you know. And so I put good soil in there, and how do you say? I just let it rain. I just let it rain on it. So I don't. I'm just hoping to have some carrots this year because this will be like year 5 for me or 6 trying to grow carrots. It's not good for me.
Well, you know what? You know what? You love carrots.
Yes,
So I like your spirit of not giving up.
I'm not giving up.
Yes,
If it
I
takes
like
me
the
20
spirit.
years, I'm growing carrots somewhere.
Right. I love the spirit of not giving up because by not giving up, I guarantee you're gonna get it. And maybe this year might be the year. This
Oh,
might be the year that you get it and you're able to get a harvest. And
okay.
this is regarding is about not giving up. Even though you can't give up growing your favorite food.
I can't. And the thing is, what I love about gardening is like, you know, when you work a regular job, you can get very frustrated with something. But this is like you get however many chances that you want to take. And it's no
Right,
pressure. There's no pressure. It's just like me trying to figure out how am I going to get this done? Like how can I help this carrot seed to come, grow into a healthy carrot? Because I
right.
have like 3 different kinds of carrots too. So I'm gonna see what happens. I'll see what happens. I'm just prayerful right now.
Well, I believe this year you got it. I really believe this year you got it.
Oh,
And I like your energy, your drive.
thank
Not
you.
I'm gonna try until I succeed. And you know what? After you succeed, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it right there. Your first year. Just
Hey,
just remember what you do.
yes.
Remember all the thing you do. Because
Okay.
this is what I used to do. I used to take note, I pay attention. I used to take a tape measure and measure the plants them. All this type of stuff I used to do.
Yeah.
But by me doing this, it has so much knowledge and so much information I have learned by doing all these things. Now,
Right.
anything I plant grows. It doesn't matter
Amen.
what.
Amen.
Because
Hey.
you kind of observe. You see, like how you doing the carrots now, and you might be failing, but you learning along the way. You realize I do it this way, it didn't work. I do it
Yeah.
this way, it did. So you keep trying, and
Yeah.
then eventually you're gonna master that because you know exactly how to grow it. You know
I
what's
was
what to
gonna say,
do and
yeah.
what to.
Because this time I put sand and I mixed sand in with my potting soil.
Mhm.
And I put it in a really tall pot because I got Nantes. They're called Nantes, Nantes,
Mhm.
and another one called Babettes. And it says they only grow like maybe 3 to 4 inches, or I can leave them in as long as I want to get, longer carrots. So I fill that thing up. I mix the sand and the soil together at a 50-50 ratio. And I'm just hoping that this is it. Like, I'm hoping I found, because I do put everything I do every day. I write it on my calendar, so
Right.
I can follow up with the everyday. I can see where I watered stuff, because I overwintered my bell pepper plants
Mhm.
inside my home. So I'm just I can't wait till the spring to get them back outside to see if they would do better this year. But I am going to do what you said to do to make sure that they are in um, deeper soil and just to
Yes.
keep building it up. So that'll be very helpful. And then I will let you know
Yes.
what
Yes.
success I had too. So,
Yes. You see, But this is what a lot of people don't do, and this is why a lot of people fail from bell pepper.
Mm,
Because you got to understand, if you want a plant to grow tall,
yeah.
you can't just plant it shallow. You see what I'm saying? Because
Oh,
you got to remember the roots, the root. If you
mm-hmm.
plant it deep, the roots under the, and you know what? I don't even wet my bell pepper them in the ground.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't wet them at all.
Wow.
Whenever rain come, that's when they get wet. A matter of fact, my whole
Oh,
garden, whenever the rain comes, that's
yeah.
when they get wet. And you know how I'm able to that able to happen by planting them deep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if when you plant them deep, right?
Yeah.
If you ain't get rain for a week, two
Mm-hmm.
weeks,
Yeah.
the moisture, they still have moisture down there. So they're still
Mm.
feeding from that moisture. Because
Okay.
it takes time for the sun to penetrate the soil and get down to their roots.
Okay. Okay.
Right? But if you plant them 5, 6 inches deep and you ain't
Mm-hmm.
get no rain for two
Yeah.
weeks, the
Yeah.
sun, by that time, the sun already start beating the roots already.
Cooking them raw. Just cooking them.
Exactly. So planting them deep is the key to
Okay.
success with bell pepper.
Okay.
With,
Okay.
with many plants, with
I'm gonna
many
try to figure that out because I didn't do well with the kale. I did okay with collard greens this year. I don't know if you do collard greens. Do you do
yes,
collard greens too?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Let
kind
me
of did
ask,
okay.
let me ask you a question. Which
Yeah.
month do you plant your brassica, like your collard greens?
Uh,
Which month?
I started in June.
Well,
And
you see, you got to start in the earlier because
oh,
these same plant you now mentioned to me, like broccoli, collards, kale,
mhm.
is for cooler weather. So in the spring, they does wonderful in the spring. The
Okay.
more you harvest them, the more leaf they push in. But
Okay.
from the time the summer comes, they quiet down. So the best
Mhm.
time to plant them, all is spring.
Okay.
Best time.
Well, then, because I've seen people have what they call a collard green tree, because I don't know how they're able to do it. Like it just continues to grow collard greens, and the whole stem is growing straight up. I I can't figure
Yes.
that out.
Well, that's what they do. They started all in the spring and they just
Hmm.
harvesting, go all through the fall. But it
Hmm.
do slow down in the heat. It does better in the spring and in the fall. Then
Oh.
what has happened to mine? What has happened to mine? It's gonna produce from in the spring, into the
Okay.
summer, it's gonna slow down. Into the
Hmm.
fall, it's gonna pick back up a little. All through the winter, but then
Hmm.
in the spring, it starts pushing seeds. That's how
Oh.
mine operate.
Oh.
Mine, I had trees. My collard green tree them this year was 6 feet tall.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
the spring is the best time to plant them, so you get plenty of harvest out of them, all
Okay.
in the spring, because they love the colder weather.
Okay. Okay. Well, then, so how do you maintain them in between that season of time where because I know like because I'm in Virginia and United States, so it gets like we had some really hot, we had a really good hot summer, and we
Mhm.
had some weeks in which it didn't rain for I think like 3 weeks, and it was awful. But that's when I had to use the water from the water hose. And I don't know. My stuff, the only thing that really survived, none of the brassicas survived. I mean, none
Well,
of
they don't like the heat.
it. They
They
don't.
don't.
But the my cucumbers survived, and my bell peppers survived, and my tomatoes. Yeah, those are the only things that survived. And my watermelons, I only got one watermelon and one cantaloupe off the vine.
Mm.
That was it.
Bell
Everything.
pepper, bell pepper, tomato, them love hot sun. They could
Mm,
they strive better. And
okay.
this is the thing you gotta know. Which plants strive better in the heat and which plants strive better in the colder weather. You see,
Okay.
because that's how you get in production. If you
Okay.
plant a bell pepper tree all in the spring, like March, April, you plant
Okay.
them in the spring. By the time June, these things start producing flowers already. And
Okay.
then, well, the breed of bell pepper that I grew, they don't stop produce. They just
Mm,
on and on and on. Where to stop them from produce is the last frost in November. The
okay.
frost has just wipe out everything. But they don't stop produce.
Well, so okay, so don't laugh at me. Okay, you can laugh at me if you want to,
No, I
but
would not.
I had a I purchased a jalapeno pepper from the grocery store. I planted, and this was in the springtime, and I planted some of the seeds in a pot. Then, when they became like seedlings, they had like 3 to 4 sets of leaves. Then I put them in the ground, and none of them became jalapeno peppers. They all became something else. They became one became a well, two of them became habanero, and another two became, I think it's called a weary pepper. And none of them became a jalapeno pepper. So yeah, I'm still
So wait,
laughing at.
hold on. Let me hear it again. You had a pepper and
I
you
had
take all the seeds
I had a
or you buy
jalapeno.
them from the store.
Right, I had a jalapeno pepper I purchased from the grocery store.
Mhm.
I took some of the seeds and put them in a pot. Then when they started growing, and then I put them outside in my garden. And I was shocked that I didn't have any jalapeno peppers. I only had habanero peppers and weary peppers. Yeah.
Really? I wonder what
Uh-huh.
happened there. I wonder if there's a crossbreed happen. Hey,
And
Bonnie, how you doing? I wonder if a crossbreed happened.
it could have, but I don't understand how. I do not understand. So it had to be something in the seed itself, correct? That's
Basically, for what this is my opinion, right?
yeah.
My opinion is could be a crossbreed, like different peppers was close to each other,
Oh,
and
okay. Okay.
the wind maybe blow and create a crossbreed.
Right.
That's
Okay.
that's the only thing I can see.
But I mean, it was a pleasant surprise. It's just that in my mind, as a first time gardener, I was really wanting a lot of jalapeno peppers because in my mind I was gonna have a party. I was gonna be giving jalapeno peppers away. I was gonna help my neighbors if they needed any, tomatoes or anything like that. Like that's what happened with my tomatoes too. I thought I was planting. I purchased a beefsteak tomato from the grocery store. I used those seeds and I put them in a pot so they became seedlings. And then I transferred them outside.
Right.
And they were not beefsteak tomatoes. They were a tomato called zebra, some zebra something, some type of zebra tomato. And they weren't bad, but they were really small and they were beautiful, but they were really small and they were more bitter. They weren't
Oh,
like a regular tomato. So I don't know. I didn't
and
save those seeds, so I don't know what they were. I don't know what it'll be next year, but I'm not planting that.
I know a lot of crossbreed does happen because it did happen to me with I think it's cayenne pepper and monkey face pepper. It did happen to me with that. I have both of them plant the same close to each other. And the seed, usually I leave seed on the tree every year. Ripe pepper. I leave
Right.
ripe pepper on the tree every year and they just drop on the ground. And sometimes seed just germinate in the spring.
Okay. Okay.
And that year I see a strange pepper that I never saw before. And it was looking like both of them. He had a mix of both of them.
Oh, okay.
So I believe it could be a crossbreed. I'm not sure, but it can be.
It has to be then because if it's gonna be like I just got the tomato and and the jalapeno pepper from the grocery store. So like if I understand you correctly, the during the pollination period for which they were grown, it could
Mhm.
have turned into something else. Like, yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
basically, what does happen sometimes? Sometimes the wind might blow. Like
Yeah,
from some plant, the wind might blow, or maybe a bee or something take
yeah.
pollinators, pollinate the pollen from over there and bring it over there. So sometimes they get cross pollinated. Many different plants do get cross pollinated. Sometimes even squash. You just get
Mm,
cross pollination in
mhm.
squash, even in pumpkin. So in
Okay.
many different plants, you do get cross pollination sometimes. Sometimes. So
That's
when
the
you see,
surprise. That's the surprise. That is one of the reasons why I'm gonna continue the gardening because
there's so much to learn.
it's a lot to learn, and I'm just like I just was saying, okay, God, thank you. At least I got tomatoes and I got cucumbers. The cucumbers were fine, but the peppers is what really like perplexed me because I didn't know why my peppers were like really small because I thought I wasn't watering them enough as well because we didn't get a lot of rain this past, last summer.
Mhm.
And but this year I'm collecting rain. Like I don't care
Right.
what's going on. I'm collecting rain because I learned that later on in the summer. Like this rainwater really did it just all my vegetables and everything look really nice. They after it rained for a good day, almost 2 days it rained. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is amazing. So it's this chemical water that's not really helping my garden. So now I'm collecting rainwater. That's
If
how I'm
the
gonna
truth
do it.
is, the truth is, if you can, I mean, it's a good idea. You see what I'm saying? Because at least is a more purified water
Right.
than the one that all this thing goes into. And
Yes.
this is exactly what we was talking about earlier with the composting and using this pipe water to make composting. I really think that defeat the purpose. I really think so. When you
Okay.
the rainwater
Yeah.
is a more natural water. Even people might say, oh, but there's thing in the sky, whatever. Yes, we understand that, but it don't have what you put in the pipe water, in the tap water.
Right.
So it's a big difference.
Yeah.
So notice something, right?
Yeah.
When the rain fall for a few days,
Hmm.
and you go out in your garden and look at your plants, then do you see the difference? Do you see the growth? Do you
They
see
look
the
amazing.
flowers?
Yes, they look amazing. You can see the growth happening. It's like overnight. Each day, like if it rained here for 3 days in a row, I would go still out to my garden and I'm like, oh my God, look at everything's growing. It's so nice.
Yeah,
And then I come out the next day, and I'm like, this one I had started using how do you say, a ruler. I was using a ruler to measure different, my different vegetables and stuff, and I was like, a cucumber. I had a full grown cucumber in 3 days when it rained. It
Yes,
was
yes.
amazing. It was absolutely amazing because it didn't look anywhere the way it looked the day before. And I'm like, where did that come from? But that was because of the rain.
Yep.
So then when you're composting, um, I don't understand when you're composting like in the spring and summertime, like how does that work with, because I'm still like going to the store and buying like dirt. I'm buying potting soil and the black cow manure mixture and stuff like that. But if I don't have to do that, I don't want to do that. It's
So,
not necessarily about the money. It's just like how I'm trying to learn how to use what I have in my yard, in my garden, to because I don't know how to make compost. So I'm just trying to
o-
figure it out now.
okay. Well, it's not that I don't want to spend the money either. I'm just not buying them.
Yeah.
You see, I don't want to use them type of stuff
Okay.
because I don't know what's in them. I don't know. So I'm not interested in using none of them things.
Okay.
You have your own back. You have a backyard with dirt.
Yeah.
That's what you use.
Okay.
That's it. Soil. That's what you use, and you walk on it. Every time you
Okay.
cut your grass, you put them in a pile and,
Okay.
and just leave them there. Let it break down. Sometimes you sprinkle them around your plants. Then that's what you do. All them extra stuff, you don't have to do that. If you check my garden, you wanna really see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because I use what I have, the leaf that falls down. Do you know how important them leaves are?
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't bag my leaves and put them out to the curb this year. Last year. I raked them and put them over into my garden area and just let my dogs kind of crush them down and everything. But I'm not taking them out to the curb anymore for the city to pick them up.
No,
So
no, that's. Oh, look good. It say on the screen. She say you don't have to do that. Check out all the videos on Planter channel, which
that's
is
what
my
I'm gonna start
channel, right?
doing.
You see, because the thing about it, I show everything. I show
Okay.
how I do everything. I show the leaf, how I mix in the leaf in the soil.
Right.
You see,
Okay.
so you don't have to do that. And
Okay.
this is why I say just proof. Just is walking. You
Yes.
see, I'm not just about trying to create content. I'm trying to show people this thing walk. So it's not about content, it's about showing people this walk.
Okay.
The leaf that falls from the tree,
Yeah.
you don't know how amazing them leaves are.
I'm gonna find out this spring.
Yes.
All my leaves are still in my yard. I put them over into my garden area. And my
Yes.
dogs are loving it right now because they can play in it and they're crushing it down and breaking everything down for me. And so I'm very hopeful that this spring and, spring garden situation will work out with my tomatoes and my peppers because, yeah, I
Well,
don't
you are at the right place. You
thank
at
you.
the right place at Planter Garden TV. You at the
Hey,
right place. You will have a successful garden this season.
I'm
Yes.
gonna work hard at it, and I'm gonna keep watching your videos as well because I really enjoy them. What got me was the bell pepper plant that you have. That was I don't know if it was like 6 or 7 or 8 feet into the air. I know you had to
Yeah,
stand on
8 feet.
a ladder to
8
get it,
feet.
and I said, this is amazing. And that's like, oh, that's when I hit join, to subscribe. And I say, okay, now I'm gonna join so I can stay connected to, and know what's
Right.
going on. Yeah. I appreciate you.
You
Thank
know,
you so much for answering all my questions too. That's absolutely wonderful.
no problem. And you know what? I grew up a name. What do you want name? Pablano. I grew up Pablano 10 feet tall this year.
Oh my.
10 feet tall.
And I don't know much about the poblano, like the heat index. I mean, I guess I can find out. I'm just used to using like bell peppers and jalapeno peppers. So
Okay.
for
That
flavor,
one, it have a mild heat. It ain't that hot.
okay. I just gotta figure out certain recipes. Like I say, I don't want to grow anything that I can't use in my cooking. But I don't know what God's gonna give me because for some reason, whatever seed I plant ends up being something else anyway. So whatever He gives me, I'm just gonna nurture it and just continue to let it grow and try to like overwinter it when time comes, so I can try to like keep it going instead of planting new things every year. Planting
Yes.
the same thing every year. I'll be planting it, but I don't know what I'm gonna get. So
Right.
I wanna try to have bell pepper plant, especially bell pepper plant like you have, because you're gonna get bell peppers from your
Yes, for
8 foot
sure.
tree.
I do it for a fact. I'm gonna get it.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. Well, I thank you for like having me on. Now
No
I want to
problem.
go. I want to go lay down now. I'm sleepy. It's
All right.
11 o'clock here.
Well, you always welcome. You always welcome.
All right.
And
Well,
you
I'm gonna
always
keep
ask
watching.
questions. I'm willing to answer any gardening question.
And thank you. And that's what we first time gardeners need too, because like who do you talk to? And a lot of the information on some of these other videos that I've watched, I have not been real pleased with the results in my garden. So, but when you
Okay.
actually show what you're doing, you explain what you have done, and then we see the results. That for me, that is hands down, that is the best teaching, the best learning, and I
Yes.
appreciate you. Yeah, I really appreciate you. So thank you for having this channel.
You're welcome. I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
All right. So I'll see you next time, okay?
All right. Take care and have a
Bye.
wonderful night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Oh yes, that was wonderful. You see that's the thing. You know if you have question to ask, you don't be scared to ask question, because at the end of the day, it's all about gardening and you trying to be successful. You trying to more you grow, you learn about your plants them, and if you see somebody growing something that you love, nothing wrong with asking a question. I personally don't mind answering question, because if you see on this channel, I go into the depths of gardening. I go into the forest. I show you the soil in the forest. I show you the leaf, when the leaf break down, how it becomes so soft and spongy. I show you clay soil. If you mix clay soil in with leaf, how it could change the color, the texture. Because clay soil, when what rain wet clay soil, it could become real compact. So the leaf now, when you mix the leaf with that, it create that barrier from coming together. You see what I'm coming from? So it changed the texture of the soil. So we all can learn from each other. and I don't mind sharing because, like I said, this is time of survival. This is time people need to learn how to survive, how to grow food, how to whatever. But these are the times. So I'm willing to share the information and show the result at the same time. Yes, but guys, do liquid fertilizer, does it make sense in our garden? My opinion is yes, it works faster than compost because we see the roots of the plant. We see the roots. And the root is some fine thing that spread out. The bigger the tree become, the root get bigger. But at the same time, the root suck. How the root feed is from liquid. When I say liquid, water. When the compost might be loaded with nutrients, mineral, but when the water add to that all the nutrients and minerals, like the rain comes or you wet the plant, that's how the plant get be able to suck up the nutrients and the mineral. So now if you understand how to make liquid compost, if you understand the type of thing to put together, whatever you want to put, the plants, the roots, the whatever you want to put together, study the plants them, study the plants that mix. Grow every day in every way. Good conversation. Hey, how you doing? Shani Grows, good night. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you here. Thank you all for being here. Yes. So the liquid, we got, liquid. Let's talk about liquid for a minute. And the importance of liquid, right? Even in our stage, in order for a woman to get pregnant or whatever, they need liquid. That liquid is like life. It's like it spark life. Without water, nothing survive. Everything. You see what I'm saying? So in the form of a plant feeding is when it get the water, the moisture. This is what it feeds from. The moisture, because it cannot eat the dirt. It cannot eat the compost. But when it gets wet, that's when it's able to suck up the nutrients. So now, this is how important, if you understand the mixture and what to put together, the combination of what to put together. Now, if you understand nitrogen, what give nitrogen, what give minerals, what give carbs, carbon, what give nutrient. If you only could understand the plants that release these things up in your garden, then you know what to use to create a compost tea or a fertilizer, a natural fertilizer for your plant. Now, if you're able to put that together, if you're able to pull that together, when you feed, when every time you wet that plant, it's sucking all that it needs out of that up into the plant. So yes, I believe, my opinion, liquid manure, liquid fertilizer, whatever. I'm not talking about the one in the store, guys. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about natural. The one you create. It creates wonders. It make your plants step. And you know what? Every new moon, you see every new moon, I don't know if you guys notice, but I notice because I pay attention. But if you notice, every new moon, rain come. From now on, check it out. Check it out and see every new moon and see if you don't see some type of rain, whether a dew or a heavy rain, whatever. Check it out and see if you don't see some rain. Every new, and when you want to feed your plant with compost, new moon. Once you know new moon coming, you feed the plant because the rain is coming, the water is coming to wet it. And the plant's going to suck it up inside of them. Do you notice, like we now was talking, do you notice when the rain come, how the plants shoot up in the air? Do you notice? Because the plants them sucking, especially when the rain soak the earth, the plants them sucking the nutrients that are around it. So liquid fertilizer, compost tea, whatever you call it, it works. But you have to know the combination that can give that plant what it needs. And if you could turn that into liquid, you create gold. You create gold right there. Okay. All right, let me see. Let me see where Shannon goes. Let me see. Liquid to feed the microorganism in the soil. When the soil biology is happy, the plant can eat and will grow. Plants available nutrient. All right, all right, all right. Thank you all, man. You guys will free to put in your own. Thank you for that, Shani Grows. Let me see what Shani Grows say again. Liquid gold, that's right, exactly. Liquid gold. You just got to understand. This, you see, when I tell people that when I was gardening, right? Now start to garden. I used to take notes. I used to walk around with my tape measure. I used to do all these things. This is why I have so much information now because I actually put in the work to get this information. I put in the work and I see the result. Now, I have a 14 compost tea that I create. It's about 5 years old now. I have a little bit left now because someone come and a whole drum. Someone come get from me. I have a little bit left in that. But you see that? I know the whole recipe out my head. Right? I know the recipe. Now, this compost tea, the combination is amazing. I try it, and this is the thing. A lot of people, they do this thing, but they don't try nothing. They just, it's like, it's a content situation. But like me, I do it on a different level. It's not just about content. It's about showing and showing the result. So I still have the recipe, and I make some more again, but it ain't ripe as yet. Where this thing, it make the plant produce faster. How I know that? Because I had 7 pepper trees, and I was mentioning this earlier. 7 pepper trees, and I put it around 2. And I put it around 5. And the 2 that I put it around have a big bell pepper. So, and the others ain't even start flowers yet. I did it around pumpkin. I see the same thing. I did it around squash. I see the same thing. I did it around okra. I see the same thing. So it shows me that this thing actually works. You see what I'm saying? So, and I have videos where I'm showing these things that I'm telling you right here. I have videos where I'm showing the results. And this is what I believe we when we're talking about products, and we have to at least show some result that people could say, okay, let me try this. Then I know another compost. I post a video today when me pouring it out of the barrel. I have a compost tea again. This one have no smell. 3 years old, but when you smell it, it have no smell. The others that I make, you don't even want it to touch your hand because the scent is so strong. This one, no smell, 3 years old. So now I'm using it right now with some indoor plants I have. So I'm watching the result, I'm watching the progress before I come out and start speaking about it. So I'm watching the growth, I'm watching what taking place. So then now, by the spring, summer, I can talk more about this composting. Now, a lot of people do what they call it hydroponic, where they use certain chemical to whatever. I'm thinking that this might just work for indoor because it don't have no smell. But before I can think with it, I have to test it first for myself. I got to see the result. I got to see what happened. All these things before I can see. But this is things you study. You study your garden, you study the plants, you study your soil, you study everything in your garden. That's how you become acquainted with what's going on. That's how you know what plant don't like the heat. That's how you know what plant don't like too much water. And all these things, you learn them how? By experience, by paying attention. If you notice, my garden always green and luscious every year. Every year, always green and luscious. I'm planting the same area. If you notice, you're gonna see it's the same place I'm planting every year, but still the garden is luscious. Why? Maintenance. We have to maintain. But if you only have a recipe to share now, I have a recipe to share with you guys. I have a recipe to share. It works wonderful. It ain't just work by me. Other people use it and it work wonderful. I have 3 of them, 3 recipe right now. One don't smell. The other 2, the scent is real bad. But one have no smell. And that's the one you might be able to use indoor. So I got to try that first before I can speak too much about it. Let me see if I can show you guys that video. Or maybe I put the link. I'm going to put the link. Let me see if I can put the link. Let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. One second, guys. Internet is like it's freezing. It didn't want me to show this. Okay, let me see. The internet is acting up real bad. Yeah, the internet is okay. Let me see if I can show it. Hold on. Present. Let me see. Share screen. Composty. This one have no smell. And I just want to throw it a little bit that you guys can see. Okay, come hold it for me. So come, you push over here. I want you to push and I can see. Okay, no, wait, hold on. Let's push it so a little. Push over. Guys, this is composty. This is in this container for like 3 years now. Okay, come. Yes. No smell at all. And this is absolutely 3 years old and it have no smell. This is some ingredients. I'm gonna do a video explaining the ingredients one day. So just stay tuned. One day I'm gonna give the ingredients for this super juice. Okay, that's what I now show you there. That one have no smell. And like I mentioned, it's a combination of things put together that creates the nutrients, the carbon, oh man, all that the plant needs in a liquid form. So yes, liquid compost, liquid fertilizer, whatever. Like I'm saying, guys, I'm not talking about I'm talking about natural because I only could refer to natural because this is what I do, this is how I grow my garden. So I can't speak for no product out there because I don't use them. But if you only understand what type of plants, what type of root, what type of to put together to feed your plant, trust me, you're gonna have a successful garden. And for the people who follow me, I will give you guys some input about composting. I will. The only thing is, a lot of people, man, you give out these information and people they run with it and they will never mention you. They act like it's they're the one who created. And that's sad. That's sad. Yeah, it's really sad. But at the end of the day, we here because we want to let others be successful. We don't want to be selfish. Let me see. We don't want to be selfish. We want to share as much as we can because this is hard times coming, and this is, you know, what is confusing is a lot of people have so much in their backyard, so much in their backyard. Yes, yes. Let me see what it say. Yes, very sad. Definitely should. Yeah, yeah. Good it. I'm telling you. I see this happen so much time, and it's really, really sad because you will give you come out, you do the research, you do all the experiment, you give the information freely because you want everybody to be successful. The next thing you hear somebody saying the same words you are using, same thing, and they would not say, okay, well, I get this from such and such, and you know what? I'm going to try it and see if it works. No, they act like they're the one. So it blacken people. A lot of people this don't give out information for these reasons. But I personally, I want to see people. This is hard times, like I said, and people need to know how to survive, how to feed your family. Is no reason to be selfish with these information. No, so many people have so much in the backyard. They have the leaf. They have the grass clipping that they pull up and they throw them away and head into the store to buy stuff. And you have dirt in your yard, you have leaf falling on the ground. You have it all right there. Like for instance, I saw some people last spring. They have a forest open around them. Trees, leaf, everything. And they went and they buy bags upon bags of compost. And I'm saying, you have the real thing right there. I ain't saying nothing to them, but I'm saying to myself, you have the real thing right there. And you go on and spend hundreds of dollars and you have the real thing right there. So here we try to show you that the things you have there, throwing away, bagging them up and take them out the road. You could put them in a pile once you have the space. You ain't even got to do anything. You just put them in a pile, and and when you do look, you're gonna find worms. You're gonna find all type of bacteria up inside there without you doing anything. All you gotta do is pile them in a heap and leave them. That's all you do. And right there, you save yourself a lot of money. And at the end of the day, it's all natural. Yeah, exactly. Go eat and let nature do its thing. That's all. It's not that hard and it's not that complicated. I mean, some people, the way some people talk about it, it could be complicated. And sometimes some people, man, I'm not knocking nobody, I'm just saying. Some people, the way they try to go in and try to make it sound so educated and all this type of stuff, and all they're doing is causing you to spend a bunch of money to get a garden together. You got to, if you want to do garden, you got to watch the people who try and forget you not to spend any money. Because the amount of money some people are spend to do a garden, and I'm not seeing no harvest. You spend hundreds, maybe a couple thousand to put a garden together. And then the harvest is, the production is not plenty. So it's not about how much you spend, it's about production. It's not about, oh, I went out there and I buy a container for $150 or $300, which ain't make no sense to me. But I'm just saying, it's not about that. Because I guarantee you, you might buy a container for $500. And I buy a container for $10. And I guarantee you, I'll get more out. And you plant a pepper tree, and I plant a pepper tree, and I guarantee you, I harvest more pepper than you. So you see, it's not about how much you spend, it's what you know. And it's all up, you know what? It's even at the stage I am today in gardening, I don't know everything. And I'm still learning. And I'm still willing to learn. That's why I do my experiment. And I allow myself to come out and do my own research before I come out and say anything. I'll take the $10. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I'll take that, I guarantee you. So it's not about how much you buy a container for or how much money you spend this garden season. Is how much you able to harvest. Is how much you able to grow and how much you able to learn, and never shut out yourself. You never finish learning. Don't ever believe you know everything. Always leave room for learning, because you cannot know everything about garden. You cannot. It doesn't matter how long you live. It doesn't matter how long you do in garden. You will never know everything. But guess what? If you pay attention, you could learn along the way. You see what I'm saying? The more you do it, the more you learn. The more you observe, the more you learn. The more you watch, you look at the plants there. You stand off sometimes and you look at the plants there. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Always learning. Yes, yes. Always learning something new. When, I tell somebody the other day, I say, man, you know what? Every day I put my foot in that garden, I learn something new. Every day. And they say, what do you mean every day? You've been doing garden so long. What do you mean you learning something new every day? I say, yes. I learn something new every day because I always enter the garden with an open mind, willing to learn. I don't go in the garden and believe I know everything, because I don't. I'm still on the learning process. But guess what? Along the way, while I'm learning, I'm paying attention so I could increase in knowledge. You understand? So the more I do it, the more I learn. The more, you understand? It's like you go to stages, but you never know everything. And this is what you got to understand. And when you realize you ain't know everything, that's when knowledge start to pour in. Because you realize, you know what? I don't know everything. So you open up to learning. But when you say, I know everything, man. I know all of that already. You close. You close it automatically. So you're not learning anything. Every year, you're supposed to improve. If you in anything you're doing, not just gardening, in anything you're doing, you're supposed to improve every year. The more you do it, you're supposed to improve. You're supposed to get better every time on another level because you're supposed to learn something. You're supposed to learn this year. Like for instance, you're growing tomatoes, right? And you realize, damn, these tomatoes, I plant them in this, in a shaded area where a tree is over there, right? And when you realize, damn, these things produce nothing. I plant them over here in a shaded area and they barely produce anything. That should make you think, wait, hold up. I wonder if it's because I plant them under the tree. That should make you think next year I'm not planting you all under the tree. I'm gonna put you all in a sunny area. So now that's gonna give you an idea of whether they prefer the cooler area or they prefer the sun. So this is how you do your experiment in your garden. You see, some people don't have the patience, and that's what's going on. Because some of us expect it to happen overnight. And the process is not an overnight process. It's about learning along the way. While you're gardening, you're learning. It's not just a happen overnight. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. Sorry, you got to put in the work to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in the work. So as the topic says, guys, as the topic says, do liquid fertilizer, is it any good? Do we even need it? Well, I wouldn't say, sorry, I wouldn't say that you need it or you have to get it. I wouldn't say that. But what I say, it walk faster. It walk faster than if you just take the compost out the compost pile and add it around it. Because while you add it around it, it takes liquid, which is rain, which is water, to feed the plant. Because we know the plant cannot eat the compost like that. This is why stuff got to break down. This is why compost have to break down before it could feed the plant. This is why you can't just put leaf around a plant and expect it to feed the plant. No, it got to break down. And when it breaks down properly, and then the water wet it creates a liquid, and that's what the plant feeds from. The plant feeds from the liquid, which having all the benefit that it needs. So this is what gardening about, guys. So from my point of view, from my experience, gardening, the liquid natural fertilizer work faster. What I will say, if you understand the combination to put together to create that liquid fertilizer or the liquid compost or the composting, if you could get the right stuff together and to pour it around these plants, then listen to me, these plants would fly because it almost getting it automatically. You see where I'm coming from? It almost getting it right away. And you see, after you give it, after you wet it, and then a shower of rain come down, not too heavy, not the shower of rain that comes down and wash away everything. The shower of rain that come down and soak the earth. Oh my goodness. You see when the rain come down and soak the earth? My goodness. When you go back outside, 2 days after when you go outside, your plants them look different. Your vegetables, your fruits, all your peppers that's on the plant, everything just spread out itself. So it works. You just got to know the combination. And this is why you're going to see a lot of people telling you about, oh, composting because they see other people doing it. But we want to see results that we could say, okay, composting really works. We want to see. And the only reason why I'm not going to just put my recipe them out there because of how things is today. You will hear about it and then the next thing, nobody wouldn't even say it's you. But I'm not selfish. I'm going to share. I'm going to do a live or a video and I'm going to share all the recipe and I'm going to show how this is the next thing again, guys. This is the next thing again. You know when they're creating something, like, okay, say for instance, you're making some juice, right? You know all the ingredients you got to add to make that juice taste good for you. You know all the ingredients. You know you want to add your sugar, whatever you're adding, whether you're lemon or whatever you adding. You want to add the right amount of sugar because you want it too sweet and you want it not too sweet. So you know exactly what you got to do to make that juice the way you want, or the food you're cooking the way you want it. You know all the ingredients, what kind of herbs you got to put, how much salt you got to put, all of these things. Same thing with the composting. You have to know how much. Is almost like a dosage. You got to know if you're using a bucket of water, how much you got to use. Because it's something you got to balance. It got to balance where every part able to function. The nutrients, the minerals, the carbon, all these things that's in got to be able to function and feed the plant. So when the plant sucking, feeding, it's getting all these things that it needs. So it's all about knowing the combination and it's also knowing how much of each to add. And these things come by not really guessing. These things come by experiment. These things come by years of research. When I say research, I'm not saying online. I'm saying in my garden, in my soil. where I work, that's where I research. That's where I do my research and my experiment in the garden, not online. Because I want to see. I want to see and I want to know. I don't want to believe nothing. I want to see and I want to know. So what I do, I put it to work. So it takes time. It takes time and it takes discipline. It takes discipline too. You have to have discipline. You have to be patient because it takes time. You just make sure you learn along the way and never believe you know everything because you don't. So every year you're supposed to increase and become more knowledgeable about what you're planting. You're supposed to be able to stand up and look at a plant and see the color of it and know something ain't right with that plant. Well, me, I personally, I could stand up and I could see that, nah, that plant needs something. Because I really, guys, I don't know if you guys understand how I take this thing serious. You know, I take this really, really serious because I'm open to learn. And this information, you know, I was thinking, man, and when I check, I have a video I'm gonna be posting maybe tomorrow. You know, I was basically sitting down in the garden and I was remembering my father. And it's like I was just seeing him using the hoe. And I had the hoe, I was talking about him in that video. I was talking about him and how, you know, how I watch him using the hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching him using the hoe. It's really, wait, let me see if I have that video. Let me see. I think I uploaded it, but it's probably, I think I didn't. Okay, let me see. The internet is real bad, but let me see. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't as yet. And the internet is acting up. The internet is acting up, guys. I can't show that video now. Yeah, the internet is acting up, so I can't show that video, but I'm definitely gonna be posting that video tomorrow. I pay really good attention until it get cold. All right, okay, all right. Yeah, because when it get cold, everything quiet down. So yeah, but you pay attention during the spring, during the summer. Yes, you should, because that's how the knowledge pour in, man. That's how the knowledge pour in. You know, you learn so much thing, you get astonished. You can't even believe. You can't even believe that you know so much. For real. show this video, but the internet is really acting up over this side. Okay, let me see. Yes, guys, don't ever believe you know everything because you don't. Yeah, the internet is acting up. I really wanted to show you guys this video. I did that, you know, because you know it. And why I'm trying to show you guys this because you know the information is really important because I remember sitting down and watching my father using a hoe as a little boy. You know what I mean? As a little boy. And because he teach me how to use the hoe, I'm able to use that hoe today and also able to show others how to use a hoe. Let me see okay, give me 1 second, guys. All right. Let me see now. Yeah. Keep saying these information don't need to keep for ourselves at all, man. Because if my father didn't teach me this, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to do this. Okay, all right, let me see. All right, good night, good eat. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you for hanging here with us, all right? Thank you so much. Okay, please, let me see. Yes, who doing that? Okay, hold on, guys. I want to show you guys this because anytime I step into the garden, I always remember my father. I always, these was his favorite tools. Let me show you what was his favorite tools. This was his favorite tools, which is a hoe. And this is, you know, I remember seeing him walking like this, you know, and that is really good memories for me, you know. Watch my father sit down, watch my father walk his hoe like this. And you know when he walking his hoe like this, what he going and do? He getting ready to plant his food. You see? And what I noticed they used to always do, they used to always do this. Like you see like this? They used to pull them down like that, and then they pull the dirt on top of it and cover it. You see? Cover it just like this, and you see? Yes. And after he do that, you know, he get ready and he plant. So all the leaf that inside the soil gonna eventually break down. So sometimes it went Edos, which is 6 month crop. So within the 6 months, these leaves gonna be breaking down in time to feed the crop, especially when the crop start producing. So the weeds and the leaf break down in. And I always observe my father, I always observe him. Little boy was little, but I always observed the way he operated. He also had his fork. How he used to do with the fork is like he will fork up the place. Like he go in and prepare the soil, he start forking up the place. Forking up the place. Depends on what he planting. He might use the fork and fork up the place and get it prepared. So these are things I observe a lot. This was his favorite as well. Not like this one. I mean, this one I forgot it in the garden and the rain and it get rust. But the kind that my parents had, they was wider. I think we used to call them tree seed. They was pretty wide. So this was his favorite tools in the garden. The hoe, which is this one, and the fork, which is this one, and the machete. And he used to do wonders. He had animal, he had his cow, he had his pigs, he had his chicken, he had his rabbit. He had basically everything. He basically had everything. He had all the leaf available. He have the river, the stream running two side of the land. So he could have just let the cow them run and go and get. It was such a beautiful setup he have, really beautiful. So these are things I go up observing. So because I observe these things, it kind of embedded in me. So now, when now I'm available, I'm able to get the space I want, the piece of land I want, that I can farm, I make use of it. I went back beyond my parents them. I went back beyond my parents because they used to use animal poo. I don't use animal poo. I use the leaf, the trunk, the body of the trunk when they break down, and I mix them in my soil. If you notice all here, you're gonna see all these soil already prepared already. These prepare and actually waiting for the spring. You see, these already prepared and waiting for the spring. So yes, this is how I see they operate. So the type of food my father used to plant pigeon peas, potato, yam, edo, cassava, ginger, all these type of food he used to plant. And it's like that's where it's taking me back. Dashin, Tanya, that's where it's taking me back. So no, I'm actually in a different place, but I'm actually trying to do the same thing my father used to do. So it's an amazing journey, and this journey is for people to see this type of journey because in today, not much people do it in this form. In this form is more physical work, but the rewarding is great. The rewarding is great. So I just want you guys to continue follow and support me on this journey because this journey is a journey we don't want this information to ever slip away. Our children need to know that you could grow something naturally. Yes, guys. That party, that video I did there, that's a video that I remember all watching little boy watching my father see that his favorite tools. his favorite tools, them, the way he used the hoe, the way he used the fork. And this is exactly what I'm saying. If I wasn't, if that wasn't open up to me, if I didn't have access to see my father doing that, I might not be able to do it today. So you see how information is important. You see how things pass down from culture to culture, from generation to generation. This is exactly what my father used to do. This is, he used to grow his food basically the same way. The only thing different with me, I don't use animal poop. They used to use animal poop, and in them time, everything was natural. So even you was using animal poop, the animal them was eating food, natural food. So it wasn't really that bad. But I showed that video, and I did this video, that video day, for a reason. Because this is how information passed down from generation to generation. If my father never showed me, if I never sit down and watch how he dig the land, watch how he plow the land, I mightn't even know that today. So I learned that from him. And then by me doing my gardening, I learned even more. I didn't just stop where he teach me. I continue the journey. So guys, I just want to say, man, thank you guys for coming out again tonight. We're going to be going live almost every night. Late night though, like 9, 10 o'clock. For now, we're going to go live because garden season is coming very soon. And I'm trying to get people prepared for garden season. So we could always come here, sit down, talk, and have a conversation. If anyone feel like coming up and share their views, they could do that once it's respectful. And everyone have their own opinion, and everyone have a right to their own opinion. We do not discriminate. We don't do them things. It's all about information. It's all about learning, and we all can learn something from each other, because guess what? We never learn enough. We still in a learning stage. We still, every day, we learn something new. So I just want to say thank you all again for coming out tonight. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a blessed and wonderful day. Don't forget to hit that like button before you go out. I will appreciate it. All right? Good night, everyone. Appreciate each and every one of you. Peace, love, and blessing. Happy New Year to each and everyone. Good night. Thank you for being here, Country Hustler. Appreciate it, man.